Hello, my name is Ezin. Welcome to Hello, my name is Ezin. Welcome to our workshop sponsored by the African Women Mobilization. We thank you for joining us. The title of this presentation is The Valley of Success: How to Ask for What You Want and Expect to Get It. Our presenters are Dr. Uwa Onyioha-Osimiri, Omoni Wells Onyioha, and Brown Obawuchi. This presentation is an hour and a half long. At the end of the presentation, there will be a Q&A. Again, welcome, relax, and enjoy the presentation.
Yeah, hello. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Brown Obawuchi. Welcome you to this special edition.
Brown Obawuchi is an alumnus of the University of Lagos, where he read business management with bias in small business concentration. He's also a senior program officer of MSME Business School in Owerri, Imo State, Nigeria, and a senior research fellow of the International Institute for Microcredit Administration, Abuja. He has organized a lot of entrepreneurship and skills acquisition seminars and workshops for the Nigerian women and youths, with the sole aim and objective of developing human capital and capacity building. Brown is also an OAP, on-air personality, presenter, producer, and marketer with Darling FM 107.3, Owerri, Nigeria, as well as a scriptwriter, and has written a yet-to-be-published book on successful small business management practices, The Highway to Development and Industrialization of Nigeria. Brown is a chief and a respected community leader in Oguta, Imo State of Nigeria.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brown Obawuchi.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this empowerment workshop sponsored by AMSI, African Women Mobilization Commission. I am Brown Obawuchi, a co-partner of Nowtech Hub Limited here in Owerri. Nowtech Hub Limited is a formally registered incorporated company here in Nigeria. And our main objective, aim, and aspiration actually is for the development, training, empowerment of Nigerian women and youths in the area of entrepreneurship, skills acquisition, capacity building, and human capital development workshops in terms of food processing. We have with more than 5,000 members who are in economic activities. The has been around for a little while. Different skills in quite a lot number of people here in Nigeria, especially in the Niger Delta area, Rivers State, Imo State, Abia State, Anambra State, Abuja, and a whole lot of other states in Nigeria. What we really do, we help all these people in developing their businesses, teach them how to write the business plans, direct them on how to go about the businesses, even to the point of assisting a lot of them to get loans from some of the interventionist programs of the federal government and international organizations and non-governmental NGOs, and they are very happy for it. Till tomorrow, they're still swarming right here in our office. As a matter of fact, our office is located at number 12, Sakomo Plaza, near Max Aluminium, on Port Harcourt Road, Owerri, Imo State. And we are, apart from AMSI, African Women Mobilization Commission, we are equally into a whole lot of partnership with other, the contact point of Mercy Organization, CPOMO, Robots and Charity Environmental Foundation, and Moses Field Services UK. We do all these with all these other organizations for the betterment of the people. Because right over here, a lot of people, the level of criminality going, and that is why we decided to be a little bit philanthropic in trying to give them capacity, trying to develop them in the area of knowing too that this is not the era of teaching you how to fish. No, we make you try to help you to own the lake so that whenever you want to eat your fish, you go to your own lake to catch some. Because when you want to eat fish and you go to someone else's lake to catch the fish without his authorization and permission, you have stolen. So these are some of the things that we're trying to let them know. And actually, they're very happy because some of them go into different lines of businesses like popcorn, plantain chips, so fishery, poultry, animal husbandry, and a whole lot of tailoring. We try to really help these people because we are a handful. About 80% of the population of the youths are, they're unemployed. I don't think you can go to bed with two eyes closed. So we are doing all we got to do, all that we're doing to let them know that there's a giant living inside. There's a giant you got to wake up that is inside of you. Wake that giant up and become whom you want to be, whom you have been destined to be. Because that is the main reason why we are into partnership with African Women Mobilization Commission that is geared towards the empowerment of women, African women. Let's starting from here in Nigeria. The job that Power MC is doing, their area of concentration, which tally with the ones that we are into, makes us, has really made us to be home and dry, working with, OMSI, resulting in OMSI having a branch right here in Owerri at number 12 Sakomo Plaza near Max Aluminium, Port Harcourt Road. This is the epicenter of all the entrepreneurial skill acquisitional activities that OMSI is known for, towards the empowerment of women of Africa, nay, Nigeria, as a matter of fact. So we are really happy partnering with and collaborating with OMSI. And my engineer Victor Anoyago is here. Let me just say a word or two.
Good day, all. Yeah, it's been a very nice time meeting with all of us, hitting the ground, going. We want to say on behalf of Now Tech Hub, that is a new Owerri technological hub located here in Port Harcourt Road, Owerri. We really are so glad to come in touch with OMSI and our allies. We look forward to us having so much to do and really taking the vision of OMSI and other allied bodies down to the African continent, starting from Nigeria, hopefully, with every available resources within our ambit. Once more, we say, you're welcome all on board. Thank you.
Yeah, that was Engineer Victor Anoyago, the president of Now Tech Hub Limited. So we are really here to work with, very happy actually working with OMSI under the presidency of Chief Dr. Uwa Onyioha-Osimiri, who has really impacted positively in the lives of these African women, because but 500 other women have really gotten the Google IT engineering course, which some of them have really passed out, while some are still going on. So in a couple of months from now, we are really going to be having 500 women engineers on IT, and all kudos to OMSI, and she promised too that Microsoft is really going to be giving about 500 of those kind of things too, that Google did through Pop Solution and Coursera for the same, but for men this time, because as you said, there's no way you can have 500 women so powerful. What about the men? Yeah. So so Doctor, we really appreciate all the beautiful, good job of work you're doing towards the improvement, empowerment of women to become employers of labor and not just employees. We really appreciate all that you're doing, and we're here to give you all the necessary support that you would need. Like here, we have a lab, a computer lab where people can be trained, and other resources that OMSI needs. Above all, when everything comes down to heads, when in October, from what I heard, that's when this place will be officially inaugurated by the governor, to officially open the OMSI office here in Owerri. And we look forward to all that. Sure. Dr. Uwa Onyioha-Osimiri, we appreciate all you're doing, and we thank you for agreeing to partner with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. and have a wonderful day.
Amani Wells Onyioha is a political expert, civil rights advocate, and thought leader. Born and raised in Dallas, Texas, Amani found her passion for politics during her time at the University of North Texas. After completing her master's in journalism, Amani worked for the Democratic Party in Dallas, a Texas state representative race, Dallas district attorney races, and for the coordinated campaign of Texas Democrats, including Beto O'Rourke's race. After the murder of Trayvon Martin, Amani understood stopping something like that from happening again would require systematic and institutional change. So she committed herself to making an impact on her local and national communities. Now working with Soul Strategies as their operations director, she is the engine behind progressive candidates who are seeking to uplift unrepresented communities and change the system. She's represented clients like Ahmaud Arbery's family lawyer, attorney Lee Merritt, mayoral candidate India Wharton, city councilman Daniel Calino, and city councilwoman Lauren Ryder, among others. Recently, she's appeared on Fox Soul, Diamond and Silk's Chit Chat, and NTD News, and has been featured in Forbes, Insider, PR News, Washington Informer, Super Creator, and more. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Amani Wells Onyioha.
Hi, everybody. I'm super excited to be here and to talk to you today. The topic we're going to be discussing today is just about how to get to where you want to be in life, how to be resilient, and how to beat all the odds and make your dreams come true. So I want to tell you about some of the ways that I was able to accomplish this, my journey to success, and just some tips and tricks on how to be able to do the same thing for yourself. So how did I get here? How did I become a partner and operations director? It was not an easy road. I started off, I remember I graduated college and I started into my career, but I really wasn't where I wanted to be. I was doing a lot of retail jobs still. My initial degree that I got just didn't seem to be honestly fulfilling, and I didn't feel like I was doing what I was called to do. And so I decided to go back to school and get my master's degree in political journalism and pursue something completely different. So my first thought on how to be resilient and how to do these things is to figure out what is it that your passion is. What is it that you would do for free? They say that when you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. So what are some habits or some hobbies or some passions that you have right now that you're doing on the side, that you're doing in your everyday life without being told to do, without being asked to do? And what are some ways that you could potentially monetize those things and make it a career? I was keeping up with politics all the time. No matter what I was doing, I was watching the news every day. I was always interested in seeing what was happening in the political space. And that's what really was the spark that lit the flame that got me to where I want to be. So figure out what it is that you want to do and figure out a way that you can pursue that in a monetary way or in a career-driven way. Another thing that I always tell the candidates that we work in whenever they're running for office is to have a strong why. Just like running for office isn't easy, just like it's not something that you can instantaneously do, wake up and become the senator of the United States. It's not something that happens overnight. So whenever we're working on campaigns, we always tell our candidates to have a strong why. Identify that early in your journey and make sure it's something that's strong enough to carry you through to the end, because there's going to be days on your journey where you're feeling bogged down or it's feeling overwhelming, or you're asking yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I even pursuing this? Is it all even worth it to pursue? And that's why identifying that why and making sure it's something strong enough that you can cling to in those times is really, really important. Another thing that has helped me on my journey and that we also tell our candidates is to have a strong team. Have a strong team, a support system, people that you can look to hold you up in those moments when you're weak. And it's a great time to be able to identify in your life who is it that really doesn't belong, because there's going to be people on your journey who don't believe in you. There's going to be people on your journey who don't think that you're a good fit or that you belong. And you should fight that off. You should get rid of those people as you evolve in your journey, because they don't deserve to have space in your life at that time. So making sure you can identify those people who are there to support you, who can uplift you, and weed out those people in your life now early who don't share those common goals or who don't want to see you win, because you're going to need all of their help in order to achieve these things. The next thing through the journey, or another thing that you're going to face, is challenges. There's going to be days where things come up, and some of the things that I've personally, hold on one second. No, thank you. No, thank you. Sorry. There's going to be challenges and there's going to be things that come up on your journey that make it difficult to even continue. And one of the things that I've been faced with is a lot of sexism. You know, as women who are empowered, you are going to deal with a lot of people who write you off just because you're a woman, or who are also going to want to hear the same exact thing that you just said, but hear it coming from a man so that they can believe it. So just be prepared, especially as a woman, especially as a Black woman entering any type of field or any type of dynamic. There's going to be people who look at you as less than, or who are going to force you to show your credentials. What makes you credible to speak on this topic? What makes you credible to take advice from? Why should I listen to you? Why should your words hold any authority or value? And that's definitely a challenge that I've faced. And what's really helped me be able to overcome that is just to have some confidence in what it is that I know and what it is that I've achieved. And I know a lot of times, or especially early in my journey, I faced a lot of, they call it imposter syndrome. And we've all gone through that, where you feel like, should I be in this space? Is this a room that I'm supposed to be in? How did I get here? Did I fail my way up and I just landed here? Or is this, do I deserve this position? And you're going to have those thoughts, and that's okay. You're a human, you have humility. So those are going to be feelings and thoughts that you have, but don't let those thoughts win, because those are lies. Have confidence in what you've achieved, have confidence in the skills that you've acquired. And whenever those people come up and try to challenge that, you can just throw your credentials right back at them. Stand strong, stand on what you know, and don't let those things deter you from continuing on your journey. Ultimately, the road to success is always a bumpy, windy one, and it's not going to look the same for everybody. Like I said earlier, I was working in retail jobs selling jeans. I was a jean salesman before I went back to school, got my master's degree, found this company, and changed my life. So don't feel bad about where you are currently, and don't feel like it can't happen for you, because ultimately all you need is the grit and the will and the determination to do it. That's really all you need. There's no other recipe other than good old fashioned hard work and having the hustle and the drive and the ambition to pursue whatever you want. So, yeah, thank you guys.
Her Excellency, Chief, Dr. Uwa Onyioha-Osimiri is the Global President of African Women. Her Excellency, Chief, Dr. Uwa Onyioha-Osimiri is Her Excellency, Chief, Dr. Uwa Onyioha-Osimiri is the Global President of African Women Mobilization Commission. Dr. Uwa Osimiri is also the spiritual leader of Chiism International, Godianism. With a doctorate degree in natural theology and doctoral work in clinical psychology. Additionally, she is an author of numerous manuscripts and has earned numerous awards for her work in business and education. She received an educational citation, Friend of Education, Michigan, several Spirit of Detroit and Wayne County certificates of recognition. She was nominated for Faculty of the Year Award at the University of Phoenix, where she was an advanced certified faculty in the Department of Business Administration, teaching MBA courses in leadership and organizational behavior, a certified senior grant writer. She served on the advisory board for the Women Federation for World Peace and was a member of the Emerging Minority Businesses Council of the State of Michigan. She received a certificate of tribute from Governor Jennifer Granholm for her work with the Governor's Small Business Initiative. She was featured in the Detroit News Strategies article as one of Michigan's most influential businesswomen, in the Oakland Press newspaper, the Detroit Free Press, Telus Detroit News Network, Rochester Hills Reminder newspaper, Voyage newspaper, Wincom Watchdog Legal News Gazette in Georgia and the Northeast Valley News of Arizona. A motivational speaker, she has lectured at Wayne State University, Oakland University, Michigan State University, University of Phoenix, Emory University, and countless secondary and grammar school workshops. She has conducted women empowerment workshops for Chrysler Corporation in Rochester Hills, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Her Excellency, Dr. Uwa Onyioha-Osimiri.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you so very much. I am so grateful that you are all here. And let me start by apologizing for the technicalities that we experienced earlier. It never fails. I have to tell you, every time that you get ready to do something important and interesting, here they come. The internet has to act up. But anyway, here we are. I want to first and foremost thank my co-presenters today, Amani Wells Onyioha and Brown Ubawuchi, for their contributions thus far. I'm sure you would agree that they have left an impression. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would like to welcome everyone wherever you are watching from today. It is my hope that you take something out of this workshop and add it to your repertoire. Everybody's smart. I know you many of you work for organizations, so you have some things that you already know. All we're trying to do here is give you something to add to your repertoire. First and foremost, for those of you who don't know, I just want to briefly say what African Women Mobilization Commission is. It is a nonprofit organization established here in the United States, in Georgia to be exact, but we have programs in different African nations, in Nigeria, in Ghana. Ghana is getting ready to get started, and of course here in the United States. Our mission is to mobilize women for capacity development. We are engaged in philanthropy in support of women and children in IDPS internally. IDPS stands for Internally Displaced People camps. And we're into advocacy for women who are in domestic violent relationships. We are also very much into the promotion of culture. In addition to all the cultural things that we are going to be getting into, we are excited about the Rock Festival. The Rock Festival means reclaiming our communities, which is going to be a part of the New Harvest Festival in Nigeria. Finally, we have trainings such as this one. And I would like to recommend that you visit our website, awmcglobal.org, and learn a little bit more about who we are. Again, let me thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. There are so many things you could be doing today, but here you are. The title of this workshop today is Success in the Valley. What does that mean? What does success in the valley mean? Why success in the valley? The idea is to learn how to pull yourself out from the position of weakness, which is the valley, to a position of strength, which is success. And many of you are probably very successful. Kudos to you. But for those of us who are trying to climb the mountaintop, this is for you. And those of you who have made it and just want to get a little bit more added to your repertoire, you are in the right place. There's an African proverb that says, what you seek, so shall you find. And if I may say it in Igbo, what you seek, so shall you find. For many people, it can be extremely difficult to ask for what you want. However, the only way to ensure that you will never get anything you want is not to ask at all. Many of us are fearful, we're scared, we don't want to ask because we're afraid of what may happen if we ask. If you let just a moment, please. If you do not feel inclined to broach the subject, to ask for what you want, chances are that you'll never get it. Let me lower this thing because it's making too much noise. Here we go. That's better. If you don't know how to ask, or you don't ask at all, you will not get what you want. Now, some of you in the audience, you know who you are. You know that you want things, but sometimes you have such difficulty asking for it because of fear, because of what people will say. But let me tell you this. It doesn't matter what people say. Take the chance. Take the chance and ask. But how do you ask? You know, we tend to want to do for others. Now, you know who you are. We work very hard to help other people achieve what they want, particularly people like our family members or perhaps our friends. But we tend to be very reluctant to do the same thing for ourselves. We have a hard time asking for things for ourselves. But you know what? If you want to be successful, you're going to have to ask. This is truly because this is important, because if you don't know how to ask, you may actually not get what you want. We tend to want to do for others, and we're our family members and friends who may tell us not to do it, because if you do it, there'll be consequences for asking. They teach us not to be demanding. They tell us not to ask too much. Then most likely, people may not like us if we ask for too much. We may lose the people that we care about, or possibly even jeopardize our standing in some club or society or whatever, because we're asking. Many of us know, or perhaps are married to husbands or wives that remind us that we must not request anything from people we know. Consequently, we are very reluctant. Even in adulthood, we don't know how to ask. We don't know how to ask for anything that may bring change in our lives. For many of us, doing so creates extreme unease. I teach business administration and organizational behavior at the university. And that's one of the things I tell my students. Standing up for what you need, though challenging, is important to do. I know that some of us, even the thought of asking can be nerve-wracking. You know who you are. Think about that. How many times have you thought about asking for something, but you don't know how to do it? You don't know how to ask. What happens often is we immediately jump into the what if. What if, the what if outcomes of such a demand? What may happen if I ask? If I ask him to marry me, he may no longer want me. He may leave me, or vice versa. If I tell my friend not to be too boisterous at events, she may cease to hang out with me. Remember those what ifs? If I ask my boss to increase my salary, or I ask for promotion, I may get fired, or never even get a promotion. The boss may never even talk to me again because I had the audacity to ask. Consequently, what happens is we are riddled with this what if, that we don't ask for anything. According to many researchers, such as Adelaide Bigoris, a social expert, and Njideka Onwenu, a clinical psychologist, the situation endures and degenerates. It doesn't get better because you don't ask. We increasingly get more and more frustrated, and we find ourselves steeped in resentment, feelings of being devalued or taken advantage of, and concerned our relationships could fail. Very soon what happens is we become argumentative. We refuse to let go of our anger, and we're unable to cope. We break up relationships or leave our places of employment. You know what I'm talking about. Some of you have done that. Do you remember, for some of you, perhaps just quitting your jobs quitting because you're angry. You have something that you want from that job, but you can't get it. But the problem is not that you can't get it, it's because you don't know how to communicate what you want. Our lives would be so much better if we work hard to address these issues before we get out of hand, before it gets out of hand. Letting other people know how you are feeling without bitterness, without quarrels, and in a productive and respectful and positive manner will cause you not to lose it all in the quest of gaining something. The first thing you must do, ladies and gentlemen, is know how to communicate. Communication is practically the best thing you can do when you want something. Often in the challenges we face with our relationships are because we don't communicate it very well. When we feel that we are not being appreciated and taken seriously, then we draw false assumptions. Who does she think he is? Who does he think he is? We assume, we make these assumptions because somehow we think that these individuals that we want to communicate with know exactly what we want. They don't know. If you don't tell them what you want, they don't know. They don't know what you're trying to communicate. They don't know exactly how to deal with you, what you want. When they don't give you the right response, you get angry. You develop a certain level of anger and animosity towards them, when the problem is they don't even know what you want. But if we don't let them know what we are thinking and what we want, how can they give us what we want? Or how can they behave towards us the way we want them to behave? In most cases, it is preferable to share your thoughts with them in a face-to-face engagement, as opposed to what happens when we tend to text. Have you ever texted somebody? Oh, I know, I can tell you that has happened to me. I texted to somebody, but they misunderstood what I was saying. This is the danger of texting, of writing. When you can meet somebody face to face, what happens is they draw the wrong conclusion and they attack you. And in some cases, you lose their friendship. So what you want to do is, as little as possible, if you want something important, if you're trying to share something that is very important, try not to do so by putting it in writing. Talk to the person. Call them on the phone. You know, we get so used to being on the internet, we don't talk anymore. Pick up the phone, or go and meet the person and say, hey, this is what I want to talk to you about. Because 9 out of 10 times, you may say something that they misunderstand. I have a friend that we're not friends anymore. Yes, I admit, we're not friends anymore because she misunderstood what I said. And she just had this hissy fit. And, I don't want to see you anymore, blah, blah. And here I'm standing there like, what did I say? She misunderstood what I said. And to this date, I can't call her because she's changed her phone number. Okay. Anyway, that's all right. I wish her well wherever she is. But I tell you, this is because she misunderstood my text. Had I called her, had I spent the time and had a conversation with her, perhaps she would misunderstand me. So I'm telling you guys very honestly, do not make your communication based on text and letters. If you can talk about it, and if you're going to text, be careful what you text. Text and repeat it to yourself. Make sure, even if you can, ask your partner, your friend, somebody, hey, this is what I want to text. What do you think? Okay, and see how they take it. You may think that's going a bit too far, but I'm telling you, if you want to communicate something important, make sure you communicate it properly. Because if you don't, it's the start of something unpleasant. The next thing you must know is know what you're asking for. Amani said it earlier. What are you asking for? What do you want? Truly ask yourself, what exactly am I looking for? What am I asking for? If you don't know, how can they know? They don't know if you're asking what you're asking for if you don't tell them, if you don't know your own self. For the most part, we don't ask for something that is ridiculous. Nobody asks for anything that doesn't exist. Nobody asks for anything that they truly cannot have. But sometimes what we are asking for may well be something as simple as just being included in whatever is going on in the organization if you're working for somebody, or just feeling that you're needed to participate in whatever that thing is. That could just be something that's simple that you're asking for. Perhaps it's just that you want to feel like you're part of the decision making at work. and that you want to contribute, that you got something to contribute, but for some reason, you know, nobody's paying you any attention. Nobody is interested in what you have to say, but they don't know it. It's something that's simple, but if you communicate it and communicate it properly, then they know and they act accordingly. Also, it could be something as simple as wanting your husband, your wife or boyfriend or girlfriend to pay attention to you than be occupied with their you know, laptops or with their telephone or something like that. You know, or you just want somebody who just pay attention to you, you know, and you feel less connected to that person because they're so focused on their on technology. Knowing clearly what it is you want shows others what you want, and consequently, the outcome may yield what you're looking for. Now, I know some individuals, and you probably do as well, when they're angry about something, they just storm away. They just storm away. He's not paying me any attention, or she's not paying me any attention. Well, you know what? Guess what? They may not know that's what you want, but kindly tell them what you want so that they can act accordingly. Make sure when you're asking for something important, know when is the best time to ask it. Don't ask anything when somebody's busy and is preoccupied with something else and you're bombarding them with something you want. Trying to get the attention of an individual you want to impact their behavior in an inappropriate manner may not yield what you want. Somebody's on a long distance call, you can hear that they're on a long distance call, and that's when you want to tell them something. Somebody's busy doing something, but that's when you want them. No, it is not when they are busy that you try to get their attention. Find a time that's convenient for you and for them. For instance, asking someone else to speak on your behalf to your boss is not a good way. You don't send somebody to go and talk to the boss because they may pick the wrong time to do it. And besides, it's not for them, it's for you. So you be the one to go and ask your boss. Or if, let's say you're riding an elevator with your boss, and there you are, soon, you know, you don't say anything to him, but as soon as you get off that elevator, you scream it out loud. Oh, I need a promotion. Now, you may think this is silly, but there are some people who do that. Oh, yes, they wait till the most inappropriate time to put the demand out there. They scream it out. I think that person heard it. And they may say, well, I did say it. Well, maybe he heard me, maybe he didn't, but hopefully he did. And that's not a way to communicate. That's not good communication at all. So be careful when you're asking. The best way to ask for something is to meet with that person face to face. I'm going to always get, it works for me. It works for me. There's a couple of women right now that I'm working with, and I found that just telling them on the phone and all of that did not work. But when I met with them, it's like the deal was signed when I met with them face to face and we had the conversation, and I let them know exactly what I'm looking for. And I was able to share my ideas succinctly. So they understood where I'm coming from, what I'm thinking, as opposed to being on the phone. Or if you can now, there may be situations where you are not able to meet face to face. I get it. But if you can, I'm telling you, it's the best way. If you're not too busy, you can say to the person, if you're not too busy, may I take you out to lunch? If you can do that. Or can we find a place that we can sit and talk, you know, about something that I'm experiencing, perhaps at the office. The important thing about scheduling an appointment to meet with the individual, it gives you a little time to prepare, to properly speak to them about what you're intending for them to know. Also gives that other person opportunity to think about what you have initiated when you call them and ask to meet with them, and they'll be more likely to be receptive of what you may be meeting them about. The other thing is be specific when asking for what you want. Let me give you a heads up here. If you like to throw hints around, it does not work. If you think that people pick up on your hint, it doesn't work. Make sure you understand the reason why you're asking for what you're asking. Then write it down. Write down. This is important. Write down what are some of the things that you will expect to be the outcome of your meeting with that person. In other words, if the outcome is successful, What would it look like? Does it mean including you when emails are sent to everybody at work concerning what is happening at work? Is it working with a friend of yours and this friend respects you enough to be on time for your appointments and engagements? Is it being with your loved one without the interruptions of the internet, or, and all the other gadgets and technology that go along with it? And you want them to give you their time at a certain time. What is the outcome that you're looking for? Know that ahead of time. What is your incentive for asking for these things? Your incentive are those things that are the outcome that you want. That gives you the incentive to justify what you're asking for. Don't ask for something that the outcome may be totally opposite from what you intended. So know ahead of time what it's going to look like if it does become a reality. Here's an example. Have you noticed that we tend to be engaged with technology, and for the most part, we're not connected to each other? I have gone to the restaurant and seen a whole members of one family, all of them on their phones, nobody talking to each other. So if this is the outcome you want, that you get the attention of your family or your better half, talk to them and say, have you noticed that we tend to be engaged with technology, and for the most part, we're not connected to each other? Even though we are here with each other, I would like to feel more connected when we spend time together with each other. Can we put aside technology while we're with each other and just spend time talking? Is that the outcome you want? That is some of the incentive to make your presentation to this person. Know what it is you want to see as an end result. This is what I want. This is what you're communicating. When you play these out in your mind before you express these thoughts with another individual, it allows you to be a little bit more prepared and able to articulate properly why you need what you need and how to go about achieving it. You got to talk to yourself. Before you go out there and run your mouth, talk to yourself. Also, make sure that in the conversation you're having, what is included in that conversation is when you want to see these things happen. Don't say these things, but the person doesn't know when you want it. They may say, oh, okay, sounds good. But they don't know when you want it because there's no timeline. So you want to add timeline. I want this to happen in a day or two, in 1 week or a month. Whenever the specific time frame is, this helps create an accurate delivery. Everyone can understand. You understand when you want this to happen. They understand when you want it to happen. Never ask. Now I'm going to say this. Never ask for something that's not realistic. Never ask for something that's not realistic. If you are asking your boss or anybody in charge of your financial well-being for a salary increase, make sure that what you're asking is applicable in the field that you work in. In other words, that the compensation you may be seeking, the raise you're asking for, is realistic. Don't ask for a job flipping hamburgers, but you expect to be paid $90,000 a year. That's not going to happen. You have to be realistic. I'm just using hamburgers. I know you're not flipping hamburgers, but if you are, well, you're certainly not going to ask for something that's beyond what is expected in the area that you're in. So you've got to be very realistic in whatever you're asking for. And again, be prepared. Be prepared to speak to your boss or whomsoever. Make points that are based on reality. Don't ask anybody for something that's not based on reality, because you're not going to get it. Come prepared with the points that have real significance. If you're looking for a job, or not looking for a job necessarily, but if you are looking for promotion, stress your accomplishment at work to date. All the things that you have done that has been helpful to the job, your potential and high ideas that could really benefit the organization. And that will give them a reason to consider giving you a promotion or a salary. That would be logical and merited. But don't ask for anything that's not real, that's not logical. This is my favorite one. Avoid complaining. Oh my God. Complaining in my book is unethical and is horrid. It goes without saying that if you're looking to request anything of anyone, and you do so with a terrible attitude or indignance or whining that it's not fair, trust me, you will lose. Never come to the table complaining. Have a smile on your face. Let the people see you as a positive presence, not a negative one. Don't have a scowl on your face. And don't display meanness. Here's an example. So you go to your boss. You want a promotion, and somebody else has been promoted. Then you say to your boss, it is so terrible that Sandy, for instance, is getting promoted and not me. What am I, chopped liver? I've been in this organization longer than she has been, and really, she doesn't do anything. She's not a very good employee. She barely does her work. I'm the one who does her work, and she's now going to be a director and have to supervise me. I don't think that's fair. I can't imagine anyone here more suited for the job than me. Think about that. If you think I'm just blowing hot air, some people do that. That's being negative. That's complaining. That's being unethical. Now compare that to this. Wow. It's exciting to know that Sandy is going to become a director with the company very soon. It's wonderful that this company does make it available for people to move forward. I am so excited. I truly would like to have a conversation with you about how I too may be able to move up to director's level in this company. I would love to know if you can advise me about how my achievements to date will prepare me to achieve the directorship eventually with this company. See, nobody, particularly a boss, wants a whiner. Nobody likes a whiner or somebody who spends their time putting other people down. If you make your request in a respectable manner and show a positive attitude instead of working hard to demean somebody, it shows that you are driven to climb the ladder, but you justify it by showing the results of what you have done. What that also does is show that you are a professional, which is what most organizations look for, which is what most partners look for. This is what friends look for. I don't want a friend that complains all the time. And I had one that set me straight when I did a lot of that in the past. And she would tell me, I'll call her and I want to complain about something. And she'll tell me, I'll be right back. She'll put the phone down and I'll stay on the other end and I'll wait and wait and wait and she'll never come back. Then I had to redial her. And she says, oh, are you still there? I say, yes, you dropped the phone on me. She says, yeah, I heard you complaining. I'm not interested. Your opinion about life today is not going to be my reality. She didn't want to hear it. And it taught me something. Nobody wants to hear a whiner. Come prepared with what you want to say, but do so positively. Even something that's negative can be turned around into a positive thing, depending on how you present it. The next thing is to be bold. To be bold. Be bold. Sometimes, people ask for so little because they don't want to offend somebody. But the truth of the matter is that you are only going to get something that you ask for. No more, no less. So you might as well go big and ask for something as boldly as you possibly can. Have high expectations. I'm a senior grant writer, and sometimes one of the things I do is I review grants. And what happens when you write a grant? The people who are reading your grant, they know what things are worth. So let's say you're trying to build a home, a program to advocate for women for young girls young pregnant girls, and you want to provide educational opportunities for their children so that they or daycare or something for their children so that they can go to school. So, but what do you ask for? You say it's something that actually will cost $300,000 to get started. Because you don't want to ask so much, you're scared to ask too much. You ask for $50,000. Well, you're not going to get that grant because the people who are giving you that grant, first of all, they know you don't know what you're talking about, and you're being too bashful. You're not strong enough. You're not bold enough. You can't do this work. Even though you're willing to give $300,000, but you think that if I just ask for a little bit, I won't offend them and they'll give me a little bit. They know what it costs. So they know that what you're asking for is not going to do the work. So you won't get the grant. Bottom line here is, if you want something, you're going to have to go out there and fight for it. Speak up, be bold, politely. Don't be brash, but be bold. Ask for what you want. You're either going to get it or you don't. But you've got to ask for it. Have high expectations for yourself. Confidence is everything, ladies and gentlemen. Confidence is everything. It's expected that you show your confidence, not in a manner that's offensive to anyone, but in a manner that conveys to everyone that you are valuable and deserving of what promotion or whatever you're asking for. The other person will be more than likely to agree. But if you're shy, you're fearful, you're scared, it will come across. It will come across that you don't know what you want. And they're not going to be willing to depend on you because you're not bold. You'll be more likely to get at least a portion of what you need, especially if you go big, right? Instead of going for 50,000, go for 100,000. If you know that it's 300,000, go for 300,000. That's what they're willing to give anyway. So go big and fail than go little and fail. Perhaps your partner won't be ready to get married because you say, hey, I want to get married. Okay, maybe they don't want to get married, but if he or she could perhaps begin to think about it based on the way you present it, the worst thing you can do is say, well, I've been with you for 15 years and I'm not taking this anymore. If you ain't going to marry me, I'll blah, blah. No. That's not going to cut it. Approach it in a positive way, but be bold. Say, hey, we've been together so long and I really would like us to tie the knot because I really can't see my life without you. Say it in a way that that person will say, oh, me too, I agree. But if you're threatening the person, you're not willing to negotiate, then you're not in the position to get what you want. If you're open to a little negotiation, you're better off than not asking for what you want in the first place. Ask for what you want, but be careful how you ask it. Don't be brash. Don't be angry. Just do it. But do it politely. But do it as, be as bold as you possibly can without being offensive. Lose all terror of opposition and ask for what you want in a manner that shows that you are confident of the outcome you want. At least that you are worthy of what you're looking for. Don't be scared to ask. You know what my father always told me? Love the word no. It's either somebody says no to you or you turn it around and it becomes, it's on. When somebody says no to me, trust me, it's on. I'm going to find a way to make it work. So don't be scared of a no. Take a chance. Just ask for what you want. If they say no, ask them why they said no. I wrote a grant one time and I didn't get it. I didn't fall apart. I asked them, well, why didn't I get it? And then they told me why I didn't get it and I had to modify. So be ready to modify something. If somebody says no to you, be prepared and ready to modify. Don't fall apart. Don't get angry. Just stick to it. Stay right there. Keep working at it. You'll be amazed at what you can achieve. The last thing is, when your needs are met, you are more likely to help others. Now, I'm going to say this because I am a guilty one. I have a tendency to want to save the world. And sometimes the people I want to save don't care if I'm saved or not. When you're happy, then others can be happy too. Because it's in your state of happiness that you find the mind to create happiness for others. Make sure that you're happy with what you're trying to do. Make sure that what you're trying to do makes you happy. It is not being selfish when you consider your own happiness instead of just focusing on the happiness of others. We tend to do that, and you guys know we tend to do that. The result of doing for others and not for yourself may create a sense of overwhelming lack of appreciation for you and dampens your fervor for doing for others. Asking for what you need, especially if it is some support from others, from the very people that you're trying to help, will only help you to serve them better. But you have to be able and willing to ask for their help. So in summary, ladies and gentlemen, If you want to find success in the valley, you must communicate well. Know how to communicate. That's an imperative. If you don't know how, go and read up on it. Take into consideration what I've shared here, but you can also read up on it. Communication is everything. Secondly, when you make the request, make sure that you make the request when it's important. You know exactly what you're trying to get. The request must be important. It must not be something silly or unrealistic. Be specific when you're asking for what you want. What specifically are you asking for? Don't beat around the bush. Don't complain. Avoid complaining. That's the fourth item. Avoid complaining. I said what that does. And most importantly, be bold. Be bold. Don't be bashful. Lose all terror of opposition when you want something. And when your needs are met, you are more likely to help others. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my hope that you have learned something from our presentations today. And now we are going to open it for questions. Please ask your questions by typing them, and we will read them and answer them. Feel free to direct it to all the speakers, and I'm going to bring the speakers in at this time. Hello again. Hello. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
No.
Oh, can you hear me now? Oh, well, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's right. We can hear you.
We're hearing you.
Okay, we're going to excuse Amani. Amani had another commitment today. As a matter of fact, she was on the road today. She had to stop to
all right.
This. I am going
It's okay.
to go now, and I'm going to look through the comments and see if there's any questions that were asked of us. Let's see.
It's okay. It's all right.
Okay, let's see. Okay, if you guys have any questions.
No, virtually everything is well explained and is quite self-explanatory.
Okay, now I want to see. I'm asking the individuals who are watching. Okay, somebody said, can we get a note to look at these closely? What you could do, we are going to certainly send out this video, so you can play it over and over so that you can hear everything that we've said. Somebody says that learning is a continuous process, full lecture indeed. Okay, thank you very much. I'm trying to see if there are any specific questions. If you have any specific questions, please. Okay, somebody says, don't quit. Yes, Zainab, don't quit. Don't ever quit. Zainab says, thank you, Mr. Brown. UD says, what's up, Brown? Yeah, guys. I'm trying to get some questions here. Remember what's important, ladies and gentlemen, is that all of us are always seeking to move up in life. And what we did here today is to just share just a little bit. It doesn't mean that everything that we have said here is open-ended.
No.
But did you hear were you able to hear my presentation?
Is it me? Oh yeah, it was. That was a very beautiful,
very awesome.
A very beautiful, lecture. Very serious one. No, beautiful lecture, man.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Beautiful lecture.
Well articulated.
Yes. Very beautiful one.
Thank you. This is what I have here. Well, somebody said, Mary Shitu says, we love you all. Thank you, Mary. We love you as well. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Tabitha say, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. UD says, what's up, Brown? Yeah, guys.
Oh yeah, you did.
Okay.
Yeah, you did. I'm all right here.
This one says, thank you, Mr. Brown. And
You're welcome, Zainab.
This one says, Mary Shitu says, yes, so I'm not sure what she's referring to, but I would hope that is about what we talked about here today. Zainab again is reminding people, don't you quit, hang in there.
That's right.
And she says, yes, sure, my queen. Yes, my dear. Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
I hope you heard what I said today. Mary says, nice one, my queen. Thank you. Stella Ago, let's see what Stella has to say. Stella says, yes, my queen, learning, like I said before, is a continuous process. Full lecture indeed. Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad you're pleased. Thank you. And of course, Amarachi is the one that wants a note to look at all of these closely. Again, this is available. I'm not sure where you're coming from, where you are watching from, but it's going to be available for you to go over. And then let's see what this person says. This is Cristiano Kichuku. Very interesting topic, Ma. Thank you, Queen Mother. You are so welcome, Christiana. I am just so happy to be able to share these thoughts with you. You know, I teach MBA courses in business administration, organizational management, and this is sort of like what I talk to my students about. So I'm hopeful that this is helpful to you. Okay, anyone else has any questions? Okay, and this person says, this is Stella Ago. My queen, glad to hear that we are getting the video later. Yes, I'm going to download this video and make it available in the forums so everybody can have it and play this. You can play as often as you want. It's better than notes. This one just gives you the opportunity to go over and over and over in your mind what we talked about today. Questions. This is your opportunity. We have about 10 more minutes, so please go ahead and ask your questions. And Amani says that if anybody has any questions, they can contact her because, like I said earlier, she had to run. But I'm going to put here what she says that, and a matter of fact, if I add it, then it will be available for everyone. This is Amani's email. Let me put that up there so that you can, if she's not here to answer your questions, but if you choose, let me see, if you choose to get in touch with her, this is her, let's see now, it's not showing. It is. There it is, Amani Wells. Let me put that up again. AmaniWells@gmail.com. Amani is quite the entrepreneur. She's doing some exciting things. You know, she's certainly somebody you can also contact if you have anything that you want to ask. Well, I don't see any more comments. I am so glad that you guys were able to join us today. And you know, these are workshops. We have it. You're entitled to these workshops as members of OMSI. And we're going to have another one in 3 months. It's every quarter that we have these workshops. So I want to thank all of you for being here. And I'm truly looking forward to seeing you again when we meet again. Until then, thank you so very much. And we'll see you again. Take care.